Hello everyone! I am finally back home. Sorry if I sound a little bit weird today because I am sick or I have allergies, I'm not sure which, but I've been feeling under the weather, but I still wanted to make a video, so here it is. I've also been doing a lot of celebrating lately because I just graduated college and I am very excited for the next step in this adventure called life. So, at my college, I had plenty of wonderful opportunities that were language related. I've done videos about opportunities volunteering with languages, opportunities working with languages. I even did a video recently about speaking 11 languages, and that was the result of a workshop that I had planned at my school. That was something I wanted to talk more in depth about with you guys. Because if you guys go to high school or to a college, university, whatever you call it, or if you live in a diverse town, city, that doesn't offer any kind of language meetups, you can plan them yourself. That's what I did. If I can't find the resources to learn a language, or if I would be interested in dabbling in a language and there were people around me that spoke it, I ended up setting up an event because I thought it would be great for bringing community together on campus, as well as getting others excited about learning languages. So I thought that maybe you guys could do that too if you have the opportunity, because why not? It'll help you make new friends, it'll help you learn languages, and everyone will be happy. So the event planning process went like this. I had the idea that I wanted to have this event run by students, because that way students would be less intimidated to come to the event. Whereas if a professor was teaching it, then it's kind of like a class, even though you don't get a grade and it's for fun. And then also, I don't know, I wanted to emphasize that it's really laid back because sometimes people don't like commitments that are weekly, and so I wanted to make it sound as chill as possible so that they would keep coming back every week. So once a week, one day out of the week, for 1 hour, students had the opportunity to learn a new language from scratch, but the basics, so it was for total beginners. I taught the Spanish workshop. We also offered languages that are already offered at my school, such as French, German, Italian, Chinese, but then we also offered languages that are not offered at my school, but there are international students who speak this language natively, such as Indonesian, Korean, Vietnamese, stuff like that. So it was really fun because I actually got to be able to link up with international students as well as other students on campus. It was a very rewarding and cool experience to be able to do this because it definitely paid off. There were students who came back every week, there were people who were excited to learn about these languages and maybe even pursue them in the future. And I know it made me interested about certain languages that I knew absolutely nothing about. So I would encourage you to try this in your area, at your school, wherever it is, if you have the opportunity. Because if it doesn't exist, why not just go and do it yourself? Because no one's just gonna create it out of nowhere. Someone has to start, right? So how about you? Why not? The planning process wasn't all that hard because I already knew advanced or native speakers of each language, and because I wanted it to be a weekly thing, but not during the first week of school or finals because no one's gonna come during that time, I already had a space for it. I planned out for 10 weeks, as I said, because there were certain weeks where we had breaks or where people just weren't going to come. Each week was a different language. Then I sent out a doodle poll to these people after they accepted my offer to do this. Then after filling out the doodle poll, we had a date and a time for each week. And then I had a Google spreadsheet where they filled out which week they were going to teach. So then after that, I gave them kind of guidelines or inspiration if they didn't know what kinds of material to teach, because I ended up teaching Spanish and I did it first so that I could test out, if the lesson plan worked or not, if people enjoyed it, and so on and so forth. So I send them my lesson plan as a sample or a guideline so that they can have the creativity to do whatever they want, but if they don't have an idea or don't know where to start, they had some kind of guideline. So then after that, just did it. We also provided food every week that was culturally relevant, and that was exciting because people love going to events with free food, especially college students, so advertise that. And that was another thing. I did lots of advertising. I did it on my Facebook, I did it on my Twitter, I tweeted at my school and they retweeted it. I also did advertising for the blog of the Language Resource Center, which I was working with them when I set this thing up. I also put up posters around campus, word of mouth. I told everybody about it because I was super excited and I really wanted people to come. And I also posted on this daily email that students would get. It's called the Student Digest, so every day you get this email kind of with what events are going on campus, so I also included that in there. And I would title it something interesting, like free Korean lesson plus food, stuff like that. So yeah, it was my first time ever planning an event, but it was very rewarding and I really enjoyed it. I also did plan another event a couple of times, but it wasn't something that I was able to get off the ground and running because everybody was super busy, but I tried to get a Spanish meetup within a club I was already part of. And so we picked a day using a doodle poll. We picked a day and we met up 2 times, but we picked a day and a place. We just spoke in Spanish. That was the whole point. There was nothing really involved with that. We didn't do any special crafts or eating or anything like that, but it was very hard with all of our different schedules, so keep that in mind when you're planning an event. It may not always work out the first time, but don't stop trying, because it is very rewarding, and I think you'll enjoy it as much as I did. Maybe even more. So try it, and let me know if you've ever done it before, what kinds of events you've done. Let me know if you try to do this, and how it works out for you. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!